pretty interesting tweet here by Justin Jackson, who, among other things, is a football player for the LA Chargers, directed at AOC. So this is what it said. If AOC and the squad don't do what at Jimmy Dore suggested and withhold their votes for Pelosi for speakership unless Medicare For All gets brought to the floor for a vote, they will be really revealing themselves. Power concedes nothing without a demand. And I think Justin Jackson is completely on point with that. You're not going to get shit, especially from the Democratic establishment, unless you actually force them to your position, because they're completely bought and paid for, and just by laying back, hoping that they're going to do the right thing, you're going to get fuck all accomplished. And this is what AOC says, and to me it just frankly just kind of shows she's beholden to party leadership, and in some ways is a Democratic Party hack, in my opinion. Not really willing to call out, criticize leadership. Example, a couple months ago when, the U.S. was really trying to prop up the puppet government, shadow government in Venezuela in the form of Juan Guaido. So, a reporter asked her about that. It might even have been Max Blumenthal, the Gray Zone. I could be mistaken on that, but anyways, asked her about, what are your thoughts on what's going on in Venezuela right now? And she said, I'll defer to party leadership. That is a horrible response and clearly shows you're not really concerned with anti-imperialism, which is hugely, hugely disgusting and troubling. And so this was AOC's response to this. Problem with this idea is that there isn't enough thought given to step two. The Dem votes aren't there yet, and with the razor-thin margin the Dem knows are the margin. You know why that margin is so razor-thin is because a lot of them don't actually run on policies that people support. You get them, you force them to vote on this, and, there was supposedly 106 people, I think, 93 people in the Progressive Caucus, along with all these co-signers of this bill, bring it to the floor vote, see who's actually is legit or not, or who's just, was doing that because it seemed like a good political move at the time, who, aren't actually going to support it. And then, so if you issue threats, hold your vote and lose, then what? Then what? Then you keep fucking fighting. You keep backing the people down into a corner, the Democratic establishment, the corporate wing of the party, which is the whole party apparatus, more or less, until you get what you want. Again, like Justin Jackson was pointing out, power concedes nothing without a demand. I'm not voting for you, Pelosi, to be Speaker of the House again unless you bring this Medicare For All bill to the floor for a vote. Is that fucking simple? Does AOC not understand, politics, or she's just so beholden to party leadership, or both? I don't know. In contrast, you can use leverage to push for things that can happen and change lives, i.e. a 15 minimum wage vote in the first 100 days doable. Elevating longtime progressive champions to important positions of leadership also doable? Really? Who are you talking about exactly? Who has Biden so far nominated to any type of position in his cabinet that could be considered progressive? I would love to know that. I agree. We need more than... So, I just don't... I'm not frankly very convinced with AOC's response there. Are you? I'm not. Let's see. I think the question is different between holding the votes versus threatening Dem control to hold the vote, not opposed to floor vote, but leverage argument is to use lev to secure an immediate 15 way. Again, how you, right? That bill, the $15 minimum wage bill, would still have to get past the Senate, right? So, and the Democrats don't control the Senate yet. So what's the difference between bringing up the vote for Medicare for All or 15 minimum wage. Neither of those are guaranteed. Both are obviously super important, and obviously $15 an hour isn't a livable wage in, I would say, probably most of the country, especially given that if minimum wage had kept up with productivity, it'd be over $20 an hour this year. Why aren't they there is the real question. We watched the presidential debates and saw many fiercely defended our for-profit insurance system, but know that the movement's pressure, positive support, primary internet, etc. is working more co-sponsors than ever. All right, let's go back to the original tweet by Justin Jackson here. I really appreciate this point. There's levels to this. We need progressive representatives to show up for us like those, like the House Republicans do for their base. This take a spot on, and this Brandon Adams said. 97 members of the Progressive Caucus, none will hold their vote for Speaker to get Medicare For All. Again, that's freaking neoliberal centrist Nancy Pelosi, 100 millionaire, who says, well, Biden's going to be president now, so, all those stimulus checks, expanded unemployment insurance, that stuff doesn't really matter anymore because we got Biden elected. So, all the people in the working class who's struggling right now, you can just fuck off. That's Nancy Pelosi running again for Speaker of the House. And these fucking 97 members, like this person points out, won't even hold their fucking vote to get Medicare For All brought to the floor for a vote. Like, really? What are you fucking there for? 106 members of the Republican Party just asked SCOTUS, Supreme Court of the United States, to overturn the election. I know, right? Progressive, you would think those people would be doing everything they could to get Medicare For All to the House floor for a vote, to at least get people on the record. People who aren't voting for that, don't support it, the voters would know. The voters would know. And given that it's so highly popular, 90+% Democratic voters, majority of the population overall supports Medicare For All, saves money, saves lives, all these things. Like, you could primary the fuck out of those people, put the pressure on. AOC could be leading that campaign right now. She's not. She's deflecting, just coming up with all these reasons why it doesn't make sense, when in fact, like, she is a hugely powerful and popular politician. And look, she has 10 million followers on Twitter, huge probably platform on other social media outlets as well. Like, you could be exerting an insane amount of influence, rallying these other so-called progressive members of the Progressive Caucus, saying, fuck off, Speaker Pelosi. You want our votes to become Speaker again? Bring this to the floor for a vote. Simple as that. Otherwise, fuck off. I'm not voting for you. Again, as Justin Jackson's original tweet that got me on this whole video, power concedes nothing without a demand. Just my thoughts. But again, not super impressed with AOC when it comes to calling out members of her own party. She's does a much better job of that when there's a R next to the person's name, and not so much when it's somebody with a D next to their name. And that is why she is a bit of a Democratic Party hack, in my opinion. You got to be able to call out bullshit and fuckery no matter who it is, if you're going to be, an effective politician, especially if you're actually out there fighting for what's in the best interest of the working class. And obviously getting fucking Medicare For All during a pandemic, that's at the top of the people's list right now. I mean, for God's sakes. Those are my thoughts. Share yours down below. Subscribe for more content if you like this. If you like the damn video, like the damn video. If not, hit that downward thumbs down action. If not, do that one. Peace. Much love.